Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about some metaphysical and law of attraction tips for business success. Now the very first thing I have to do is define metaphysical, because sometimes people hear that and they think new age or whatever, and they think some sort of nonsense. All metaphysical means is above the physical. So we're not talking about just physical things, because I give you a lot of tactics and strategies for that. These are things that are not normal. They're not what average people are doing. They're not what most businesses are even doing. But if you'll apply them to your life, in your business, it will help you get greater success. Now, some of these will have some variables depending on the size of your company, of course, and what you actually do. So if you have a service-based business, or you have a product-based business, either way, it doesn't matter. You could do this first thing, which is to pray over your customers, over your clients. So if you're sending a product out to your customers, pray over that product, that it blesses the customer, that the customer receives it and is overjoyed with it, that they get everything they wanted from it, that it's a blessing for them. And you're grateful for your customer. You're grateful for your client. Now that may sound simplistic, but I guarantee you, if you do that, if you had a business, and I've had businesses that I've worked with, that I've counseled them on this, where they were having a lot of problems. They were having chargebacks. They were having angry customers. And yet they had a good product. And I said, but what is your attitude? And their attitude toward their customer was one of combativeness, almost a battle. And their view of the marketplace was one of competition. It's a battle with these competitors. So their worldview was completely messed up as far as getting the best out of life. And that's why they had combat with their customers. They had customers charging things back. They had customers always having issues, because they viewed their customers as a problem in the business, as an obstacle to their greater success, not as a fundamental and important, valuable part of the business's greater success. And so when they started doing this, they started praying over their orders, praying for their customers, blessing them and appreciating them. They stopped looking at the marketplace as a big competition and just started looking at, how can I provide more value for my customers? How can I make this better for my customers are having issues? What can I do? And you know what it was? In some cases, some of the products just didn't explain themselves very well. So they reworded what was going on the actual sales page. They put an instruction sheet that wasn't included before in with the actual order. And that tactic, coupled with actually being appreciative of their customers and blessing them and praying for them, got rid of all those chargebacks and problems with the customers. The thing is, they never would have done that, put that instruction in there. They never would have even tried to find the solution if they stayed in that mindset, that low vibration of being in a battle with their customers, having issues with their customers. Customers are a problem. They're our biggest headache. And all that mentality was draining them and keeping them from providing more value for their customers and from having a good experience with the customer that was readily there and available to them, but they were making it harder. They had copy that was written on their site that made it sound like the product was doing something different than it really was. So it gave the customer a false expectation. Now, they weren't trying to mislead people, but it was just worded poorly. And then there was no instructions with the product, so customers were confused. They expected something that wasn't actually part of it because of poor wording. Then they get it, and there's no explanation for how to use it properly. That's going to lead to problems. And they probably really had more problems than even the chargeback and the customer complaints they had, because a lot of people probably just got in and said, this doesn't work, and threw it away and moved on. They didn't even invest the time to complain about it, but they probably had the same issue. But that's one little way of how you can change your mindset, change your vibration, metaphysically change the way you approach your business and get better results. And there was a real world thing they had to do, taking action to provide more value for that customer, and it solved the problems. But they never would have gotten there if they hadn't changed their mindset and changed their vibration, changed their view, and started looking at their customer as a blessing, as something to be praised, as something worthy of appreciation. And I want to get into that competition thing because that is something that really hinders people in business. I have a particular company that has a number of quote unquote competitors. It's a huge market. And I have sent customers to my quote unquote, I'm saying quote unquote, competitors for products I didn't carry, that I was never going to carry because they were a lesser quality item. But I knew my competitors had them and referred them to them. And I've had my competitors refer, and I'm saying competitors as the common term, but other companies selling the same products, refer customers to me, to my company, because I have a higher quality product than they are going to carry. But if I viewed it all as competition and I got to defeat these people, there never would have been that reciprocal relationship that wasn't started by the other person. It was started by me saying, oh, well, tell this company that my company sent you to them and they'll help you out. And they did. And this is one of those things where you approach life differently. You don't approach it through scarcity mentality. The competition mindset is one of scarcity, that there's limited resources that you're competing over. And yes, if you have all the customers, then you're going to have people competing with you to try and steal some of your customers. But the reality is there's no way of doing that. You're never going to get enough customers. There's always going to be more available. There's always going to be more coming out there. And especially if you're approaching things with love for your customer, with love for your clients, you truly want their best from your service, from your product. You want them to get the best results and the best value. You don't have to compete when you're at that level, because you will naturally attract the best customers, the best clients, and more of them. Because there are plenty of people out there in any industry doing subpar jobs. Whether it be a service industry, they do poor jobs. Whether it be a product, they make shoddy products that don't live up to their expectations. There are all kinds of customers and clients wanting a better customer experience. And the very fact that you even care and want them to have the best experience is going to be enough to attract more good people to you. And here's one of the keys that many people miss. You can charge a higher price. You can make even more profit and serve less clients, serve less customers. When you're in that competition mindset, you're battling at the bottom for the scraps. But when you're trying to provide the most value and you're legitimately, prayerfully wanting the best for your customers, you're wanting God to bless them, you're wanting them to have the best experience from your product or from your service, that is naturally going to attract even more customers, even more clients your way. And that can't be taught. That has to come from within. Now, another thing you can do is add more value. Now, that's obvious. Everyone talks about that as a strategy, as a tactic, but how can you do that? It could be as simple as if you have a physical product you ship out to your customer, can you send them something with it? Is there something of value that you can add? It doesn't have to be expensive either. Just something to show that you care. If you're a company that sells high-end clothing and somebody bought a suit from you, a suit, jacket, and pants, and maybe a belt or something with it, could you provide them some socks with that for free? Don't even mention it as a bonus. Don't even mention it in the sales copy as, oh, buy this and you'll get a free pair of socks. Just throw it in there. Something to add that matches and fits that suit perfectly and is going to be a blessing for them. In many cases, that's not going to cost you very much. And of course, you can add that cost of that product you're going to throw in for free. You can add that into the price of the suit, charge a little bit more. That's all right. The customer's getting high quality. They don't mind. That can easily be absorbed in the price of the product. But you're giving them more than they expected. You're blessing them. It costs you very little to nothing, and you've made the world a better place. You've provided more value for that customer they didn't expect. Listen, there are great businesses out there who customers like their company, they like their products. They don't do this. But think if you did. Think of the little tiny expense that goes into that if you provided more value. Now, it could be something like this. Maybe the customer bought something from you and they paid the slowest shipping rate. So they didn't pay for rush shipping, expedited shipping. It's only going to cost $1 more to ship it expedited. Instead of saving that $1, why not just invest another $1 in your customer and ship it to them even faster? There are all kinds of little ways you can add value that cost very little, but the customer is blessed by it. And then you can mention that to the customer. Hey, we're shipping it faster, and we upgraded your shipping to expedited for free because we appreciate you as a customer. Doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out email. Don't have to pat yourself in the back. Just tell them what you're doing so they understand. You provided more value, and the customer has a better experience. Really, in life and in business, if you are seeking the best for who you're interacting with, you're seeking your best for the customer, seeking the best for your clients, you provide the most value, you really go out of your way to try to make it the best experience they can have, you are going to have an endless supply of customers, an endless supply of clients. You will get even more profit from that. You can charge even more. You don't have to be battling for the lowest price. You can be charging a higher price because you provide more value, and it's worthy of people's higher payments. There's so many ways you can be a better blessing. There's so many ways that you can attract better clients. But if you really go into it with that mindset of, I want to provide the most value for my client, the most value for my customer, this does not mean throwing away or undervaluing your product, charging less for it, giving discounts and all that stuff. It's not about that, but you provide more value. And there are simple ways that you can add more value to the product or to the service that don't even cost you much. They may cost you nothing, but it would be a blessing for your customer. And that, my friends, will attract greater success in your life. The universe, the way God set up the universe, it will just rain down more blessings and goodness and success on you when you approach life with that mentality, when you approach life trying to provide the most value, trying to provide the best and greatest service for your customer and for your clients. My friend, I pray this has been a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.